This is my breakout moment.
Better days are
Before me,
no more chains, I'm finally free.
stepping into victory. We're breaking out, we're breaking through.
This is our
Finest hour.
breaking out of depression.
Listen to and viewed worldwide.
On Living by the Word with Andy Charles and Gabriella Woods.
Every Tuesday at 6:30.
Breaking out.
Breaking through. I am free.
Hey, hey, yes, we are free indeed, especially since we understand that we are children of the most supreme God and we have a responsibility to join in with so many people out there who are probably struggling, who are probably having a hard time to come to terms with the reality of their lives, knowing that there's a tomorrow, but not being sure of how to face that tomorrow. So we welcome you and we thank you so much for joining us. And for those who will be seeing this after on the social media platforms, we thank you for your continued commitment and support to breaking out of depression. Okay, so this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's entitled The Journey to Soul Guided Living with Desislava Dimitrova. And what we are going to look at is coming out of a period of having gone through a traumatic experience and dealing with PTSD. Yes, you heard it right. PTSD, post traumatic stress. What's the last word?
Disorder.
I can't remember. Disorder. Yeah, that's it. PTSD. Um, I need to get some ginkgo. Here's the thing, people. This is a very important episode, and I'll tell you why. Gabriella, there are many people who are suffering from mild, moderate, or severe PTSD and don't even know it. Our guest is a perfect example, but we'll get to that in a moment. All right? First of all, let's just go to the Lord upstairs and give him thanks just for being here. All right? Father, we come to you. We give you thanks for life, health, and strength. And we pray, God, that whatever we do on this episode would be something that would touch hearts, move lives, inspire folks to go to a better place, that they would overcome any levels of depression, anxiety, disorder, burnout, PTSD, all those things that we from time to time may have a challenge with or have to deal with based on our personal experiences and our lives. We thank you for those who are supporting behind the scenes and within the scenes, and we pray that they would continue to do so, that all that we do would be of a telling moment and a telling time, that they would remember, that they would take opportunity to get information, get knowledge, be inspired, and see the light at the end of the tunnel. We thank you for our guests and we thank you for uh, Dex being in the background and all those who are supporting in hands and resources. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. So, uh, we are here live, and now let's let me introduce you to Gabriella Woods. Gabri?
Pleasant good night to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this evening, and I'm really excited with our guest, our special guest tonight, and how she's going to come and talk about PTSD and other symptoms that we experience in our daily life. And coming from a place of experience, from a place of testimony, we are open and we are willing to hear how she would have overcame this situation.
All right, so let's do the breakout moment and then quickly introduce our guest.
Awesome. So before we move forward with the program, we would just like to take this time just to unwind, just to really calm our bodies and our minds from our busy schedule, from our daily lives. I know today would have been hectic for a lot of us, and we just want to take this time just to really ground ourselves. So as we take a deep breath in, I want you to really inhale all that you want for your life. I want you to really just take an intentional breath, and you're going to exhale everything that you don't want, all the stress, all the PTSD, the anxiety, the grief, whatever you are facing tonight. So after the count of three, two, three, you're going to take an inhale I'm gonna hold it for two. One, two, and then exhale very slowly. We're gonna do that one more time. We're gonna inhale very intentionally. Take your time and really just process all that you want. And hold and then exhale very slowly. And you're going to repeat, I am breaking out now. And as you continue to say it, I want you to continue to not just say it today on a Tuesday, but continue to make it a part of your daily devotion. That you continue to say that you are breaking out now. And our guest would have been broken out as well because she would have been experiencing life and experiencing all the challenges. And today she's here to tell us how she broke out. So if she can do it, you can do it as well. Back to you, Andy. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, Andy.
There you go. Okay, so let me do a quick introduction. Our guest is a best-selling author, holistic healing guide, and an Eastern European US immigrant of 18 years. 6 years ago, a spinal tumor changed everything. That health crisis became the start of a deep spiritual awakening, one that reconnected her with her body, purpose, and God. She now helps leaders in transition overwhelmed by their circumstances remember their own inner voice and take calm, confident steps towards peace, purpose, and joy using holistic and spiritual wisdom. She says she had struggled once to hear her own inner voice and for years followed paths that weren't truly hers, disconnected from what brought her genuine joy. But through life's challenges and transformation, she discovered powerful techniques that help her to reconnect with her authentic self. So, without further ado, let me introduce our guest. This is Slava Dimitrova. For the purpose of this episode, we will continue to describe her or call her as Desi. All right, just to make it easy. So let's welcome Desi on the program. Where are you, Desi?
Hi, Andy. Thank you. I am right now in Boston, Massachusetts, United States.
All right, wonderful. So, Gabriella, there you go.
Ah, so Desi. I will be calling you Desi. I hope that's no problem. So
Yes.
tell us,
Oh, that's
be- before the spinal tumor, could you tell us who you were, who the words for, and what were you privately becoming before that trauma happened?
who was I before the trauma?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good. It's a good one. Let's start there. That was someone I didn't. If I look at it right now, I'm like, oh my God, she needs so much help. I was not in a happy place.
Yeah.
I thought in a way happy, looking from the outside, from the social perspective, um, like being kind of successful and not much better than when I was a child. We had a very hard financial um, situation at home. So when we moved, and 10 years later, we built life. So everything looked good on the outside. I raised two kids. I was staying at home mom, and I gave my everything for my kids
Yeah.
to the point where I lost myself,
Hmm.
who I was, what makes me happy, and then it was all about helping them become who they they are meant to be and create, as much as I can, very to prepare them for life. And my kids were my life for most of the time. And yeah, along the way, I forgot. I My life completely changed when we moved because I lost all of my friends, my parents, my sister, my family. So the loneliness and that's a complete different reality. So my life changed, yeah, changed big time in the beginning, and it was really hard. I didn't want it to continue. At some point, I wanted to go back because I knew my mother will help me as much as she can, at least with the kids, at least on the weekends, at least even once a month, right? It's something. But here we were just doing everything alone, raising the kids, making the money, household, everything. So yeah, I lost myself and I was trying to make everyone happy because I felt like when they're happy, I'm happy too. You know, um, I didn't know that I'm very sensitive person
Yeah.
to energies around me, um, which I learned later when after my trauma, I started to dive deep into a lot of this wisdom and energy healing in all forms. And I learned that I'm actually an empath, and and I take upon other people's energy. And you need to learn how to know how to control that. And if you don't, then you just take the good and the bad. You take everything people carry around themselves. Anyway, my kids are healthy. I didn't get anything from them, but what I'm trying to say is I learned a lot about myself along this journey uh, that I didn't know. So at that time, I was fix oriented, not doing my talents, not doing anything that actually, like a hobby will make me feel alive and happy. And I was all about them, their activities, their school, their friends, and being the perfect mother. That being perfect was something that was part of my life, but I tried to not be. I know it's not easy to be perfect anymore. So yeah,
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And you would have shared a lot there. A lot of
a lot.
personal information, and persons who are listening could really identify, I'm sure. And your trauma and your identity didn't start from, okay, well, from childhood. It really started later on in your life where you started to lose yourself. And a lot of persons
Yeah.
could consider that being lost, giving themselves to everybody else, not being able to really find out who you are. Could you like tell us what was that journey like for you in rediscovering who you would?
Yes. Um, yeah, the biggest part of this journey was really finding this awareness to hear that inner voice.
Yeah.
Because if you don't listen in the quiet, you cannot hear it. You can hear your thoughts. You can hear the thoughts of other people, of your mother, father, people, friends, whoever. But the voice within is a very quiet and very subtle voice, and it's very easy to just kind of almost pass by like a fast train and just not pay attention.
Yes.
At least that it was for me, because I was used to hear the raised voice of my father, who was military guy. So those little things uh, I was not taught how to access them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, kids in school nowadays still they don't teach them about these beautiful things that they need to know more about the energies. So anyway, I think through a lot of meditation, through a lot of quieting of my mind, which typically for me, I have a very active mind. Uh, According to Ayurveda perspective, I'm a Vata personality, so everything is I'm very fast, everything is moving, my mind, my thoughts, my body. I walk fast, everything. And so for me, it was a process of quieting down my thoughts in order to hear my inner voice, my inner guidance, and learn to distinguish those two. Because once you learn that it's your own GPS system, and you cannot go off track,
Wow. It's
so
your
to
own
speak.
GPS system. Love
Yeah.
it. Listening to your inner
Well,
voice.
it really is because we all carry it, but we don't recognize it, and we look into people. We look outside of us just because we don't know how to access that what we have. We have everything within.
Yes. Andy?
We do. I
Yeah.
can go deeper into that.
All right. Um, your
Yeah.
story, Desi, is so unique,
Hmm.
and so are
Yeah.
you. So are you. I'm looking at your information, and I want you to express in your own words, based on your personal experience, what it is like to learn to receive. Because you said it is as important as giving. How can someone learn to receive? What does it take to be in a place where you learn to receive rather than just be given, given, given?
Mm. Yeah. Wow. That's a very good question. And you know what? That's probably one of the last things I learned, which it's actually happening as we speak. Because um, as people, we try to control our reality and our life. Why? Because that gives us safety and stability, right? We want to know what's going to happen, or what you going to happen, or that person, or whoever, right? We want to know what's happening. We feel safe and in control. But in reality, there is somebody else who is pulling the strings, and it's not you or me.
Yes.
We talked in our pre-conversation that there is another energy that is uh, created the universe, God, and we are part of this. We are just we're just the expression of that energy, and it's a process of um, allowing yourself, and maybe setting up an intention to listen and to hear that um, that voice, that guidance, because otherwise, we go into the thinking mode, and we try to solve everything with our logical, analytical mind.
Mm.
Um, but I believe if we connect to our heart, the energy of the heart, we are connected to this creative energy source who keeps us alive. Because this is the energy of love, and this is the energy of creation, right? Because we exist through the energy of love. Everything around us is made out of love. And um, when we connect to that area of the heart, we are able to actually clear guidance from this higher perspective, and allow to receive whatever he, let's say, he, I don't know why, but he wants to tell us. If that makes sense, that's
Yeah,
how I see it. That's how I,
Gabriella, if you are not paying attention to what Desi is saying,
Yes,
you're
I'm
going
listening.
to miss it. She is talking about a very unique, and I use that term again, unique experience. And the way we would normally describe God and speak about God and His love and His creation, hers is original. I've never heard anyone speak of it in that manner before. So
Yeah,
here's the thing, Desi. When you felt lost, when you felt disconnected and unsure of yourself, what did
yeah.
you think about in that moment that would help you to get back to a place where you are now fully confident that you are you, that you are being led by your purpose, that you're using your gifts and your talents, and you can now receive the personal happiness that you believe you were meant to? What was that moment like, that transition? How would you describe your emotions then?
My emotional plan.
Yeah, how did it feel in that
How did
moment,
it?
knowing that you were lost and
Mm,
you needed
mm,
to get back to a place where you would find your true self?
yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay, so I think, yeah, I understand. What comes to mind? I had many experiences of experiencing God in my body, but um, probably one of the first one I can say, I think it's, you know what, that's the strangest thing. It's peace.
mm,
There's so much peace. When I had to go into surgery, which I didn't know if I will come alive or if I will be in a wheelchair after this. It happened to be 10-hour surgery. Uh, you would think that you go there and you're like scared. When I went on that day, that moment, I was so peaceful, and I felt like, how to describe this? I felt like it was meant to be,
mm,
and I was just feeling at peace.
yeah,
It was like I didn't know what's gonna happen. Like my mind didn't understand what's gonna happen, but I was peaceful. Like my mom outside, stressed out, crying, not sleeping, not, her child is going into all. But was such, I was in a state of everything is okay, and it's just, it's, I'm part of something. It's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? I cannot control it anyway. So just, just relaxing to it. You are in good hands. It's like the feeling was all is well, all is well. That state, all is well, because on the end of the day, that's the only thing that is true. The rest is just our our thoughts, our uh, traumas, things that affected us. And once we release everything and heal, which for me took a long time because I had a lot to heal, but after that, I know, and I am at peace and I'm happy because I know this is just, everything is just love, and we are here as part of something bigger. We just participate almost like actors in a movie, and everyone has a role, you know. And today I'm a speaker, and Andy is my interviewer, and we're doing it for the people. So, that's how I found my purpose. If I'm meant to be here, that means God wants me to be here and wants me to say what I'm saying.
Wow.
I had not had this confidence before, believe me.
Yeah.
I did not have this confidence
Yeah.
because I didn't know who I am. I didn't believe I'm whole, complete, and perfect. So I was like, who am I? Like, who am I? I allowed people to treat me bad and disrespect me, and it was really, I was really hurt. But that was a gift in disguise, so I could find that love within and find the love of God, which is the best ever, knowing that I don't need anybody else right now. I mean, it's gonna be nice if somebody's nice, right? But I don't, I don't search it. I don't, look for something to fill me up, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. It makes
That's
sense.
awesome. That's awesome, Desi. That's awesome. Ah, wow.
Okay.
This is just next level.
Mind blown. Sorry, my
Yes,
conversations are
yes,
just.
yes, Desi, it is. One more question I have for you before we go into a mini break. Um, how did you
I'm losing you a
realize?
little bit.
Yeah, how did you realize that you were experiencing PTSD?
Mm. In the beginning, I didn't. I because I never read about it and what is that? I mean, it's like before the surgery, I was healthy, and all of a sudden I was sick, and then all of a sudden I had to dive into spirituality and healing. And I'm not sure, like maybe 2 years later, even at least a year and a half later, uh, I think I don't remember. I heard something or read about PTSD and what is that? Probably through a friend, uh, and and then I was thinking, oh my god, I actually did had that, and I remembered laying down in my bed the very first months after the surgery, from neck down, not feeling my body, just here and there, but really in a process of healing. So, um, and somebody enters the house and close the door or the room a little bit calmer than usual, and I was jumping, my heart was jumping out of my body. That was the stress I was experiencing internally, just from the noise, just from hearing this extra noise, and I don't have it now, right? So that means it was just, I was in a very aggravated, nervous state from that experience, um, which I was unconscious, but the body and the cells, they remember what you're going through. So yeah, my nervous system was very aggravated for months, for many months after this surgery. But again, through a lot of meditation, a lot of relaxing techniques, deep breathing, Gabby, a lot of deep breathing.
Yes.
You calm the system down, and you're able to connect.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give Desi a minute to take a catch of breath. And folks, that's an amazing experience, and that is why we say there are so many people who could be going through post traumatic stress um, disorder and not really know it. All right, that happened to her, and for years after her surgery, she was going through some stuff. She had noise, or somebody spoke too loud, or they closed a door too hard. A heart would be jumping out of her chest. So when you see these things happening, when you feel these experiences, know that something traumatic that would have happened in your past could always be bringing trigger moments back to you, and you could be in a condition of PTSD. So we'll get back to Desi in a moment, but Dex, if you have that Gabriella promo ad video, you can play that now while we take a break for a moment.
If your teen suddenly feels far away from you, then this cage may be just for you. Many parents come here feeling exhausted. You may have talked, argued, repeated yourself over and over again, and even wondered, why can't I get my child to talk to me? Many teens are silently carrying things that adults never fully see: anxiety, grief, identity struggles, peer pressure, social pressure, rejection, and I can go on. I help Caribbean teens between the ages of 11 to 18 years to understand themselves, to communicate better, and to realize that they do not have to go through these challenges by themselves. And parents, I provide support as well as updates because I realize that you need to be a part of this village and how difficult it can be raising a teen during this time. So I officially welcome you to Gabriella's Double Impact Solution.
Okay, Gabriella, I know I stole the show for a moment. So now it's back to you and Desi. We could talk about breathing maybe.
Yes,
Uh,
Daddy. Thank you so much for that really powerful empowering, I should say, tip that you would have given us just now. And what resonated with me so far is the fact that you said that you felt peaceful um, when you really got to that place where you understood who you are. And even during that traumatic experience and post-traumatic stress, a lot of people, you hear those words flying around plenty, and persons don't really understand, what it means, what are some of the symptoms, what are some of the signs. But for you, going through that moment and realizing years after that this is post-traumatic stress, could you tell us or tell your audience who may be listening and is struggling with those symptoms, with those signs, and really struggling to break free from that? What was that moment when you realized that you were really moving and transitioning from post traumatic stress to a state of calm? What really brought that for you? Was it the breathing? Was it God? What really brought that change?
Mm, okay. I think it's for me it was going back to what I who I was before that, this more regulated state, because obviously it is not normal to jump out of nothing and have your heart racing from noise or something like that. um, I feel like when you come to a point where it's you feel you're not overreacting, and if you can keep that.
Wow, we lost her.
wow, we lost it there.
Right, that's it. That's
Okay. And
Sorry, do you hear me? I lost you for a second. um so yeah, once you just feel more at peace and you're not overreacting to people, situations, noises, voices, um, because normally you wouldn't. If your nervous system is in alignment, you wouldn't jump into you know either physically, you know, or emotionally, and react.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people experience, this type of reaction. They have to react, and it's a process. In order to stop that, it's a process of expanding your awareness, to take a moment or to take a breather, count to 10 and take a breath to see how would you react. Should you even react? I mean, would you even waste your energy in certain situation, or you want to keep it to something better?
Yeah.
I I think I came to a point where I don't react. I used to react at my kids, at the way they do things, at the way they talk to me. And when you see you cannot change people, again, you release control. You don't release it 100% when you have kids. You still have to be in control,
Mhm.
but there is a line where you things you can control and things you can't. And when you are actually affecting your own well-being, that means you're doing too much. For me, it's like I'm giving too much of my energy and attention and time and space. If somebody doesn't want to, is not open to hear me, if they don't appreciate my wisdom, why would I even say it? They will just disregard it, right?
Yeah.
Um, don't say don't try talking to your kids, because as parents we have to be very flexible in finding the right moment to tell the right thing so they can hear it. But I talk about this reactive state where a lot of time we just react, and at that time, or they react, overreact. And this is not helping or helpful to anyone. And usually things happen and they feel sorry about that, right? Instead of taking a moment, taking a breath, am I doing that? Am I gonna hurt this person? What's my intention
Mm.
behind it? And if it comes from love, again, if if the intention to talk to anyone is from love and with love, the other person has a better chance to hear you,
Mm.
instead of seeing it from a state of, I know more than you, or let me control you, or let me tell you how it's done. That's a different approach and different energy, because kids can only hear you. They learn by example most of the time. They want to hear their friends but not the parents. uh, but but I had a situation with my kids. They were fighting about something, not fighting in a real, but they were screaming to each other. And I was probably halfway through my healing journey, meditating long many hours, very peaceful, very calm, in this energy of all is well. And I went upstairs and I asked my daughter, "What's happening? Why you and your brother?" She said, "Whatever he thinks, blah blah blah." And she was very angry. And I said, I just gave her a hug, and I said, you know that your brother actually loves you so much, and you love him, and he's doing that because he loves you, and you do too. And 10 seconds later, she was a completely different person.
Mm.
So it's like when you enter the room with your with this the energy you carry, you affect the people around too. You don't even need to say a lot, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
the energy speaks for itself. Yeah.
Hmm. And you know what she said just now that really resonated. She said, if you're extending yourself too much to the point where it is affecting your well-being, you're doing too much. And I think a lot of person needs to hear that. You
Yeah.
know, I think that has been the theme for the past couple programs that we had,
Yes. Yes.
being able to really say no and really know when you need to just put yourself first, and it's not being selfish, it's not being from a place where you don't care about persons or you don't love persons, but it's important for you to know your limits and your boundaries, and as Desi said, with love. You're not just doing it like that. You have to do it with love. It has to come from a place
Yes. Yeah.
of love, and that makes a whole difference. And she just take us through a parenting class. Trust me,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Right? And she's
I
speaking
did
from a place of
I
a
I
model
didn't
of a, yeah, and it will
yeah.
take a lot of of you to really get to that place where you really allow your child to be heard. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah. But that thing you said about boundaries, that's a big thing. That
Yeah,
was another part of my lesson. I didn't know what is,
yeah,
you know, having and again this is all connected because you cannot uh, give from that space unless you first align yourself with that.
yeah,
So on the end of the day, it's about every single person being aligned with that energy, with being at at, the, at a state that makes them feel at peace with who they are, and then that affects the relationship, their work, and everything, whole
yeah.
universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the
Yeah.
person who's
Don't you
listening,
know?
the
Don't,
person who's listening and really struggling with that, being able to set boundaries and being able to say, you know what, this is out of my control. You said that there's a limit to what you could control, and then you realize that that beyond that, you really need that help or that intervention that is needed to really go through whatever situation, whatever struggle that you were facing. So, can you tell the audience who's listening, how was that for you? What did you actually do to really say, I'm going to let go? Really deny yourself, really surrender yourself, and say, I'm going to put the control where it belongs, which was really with God, taking that control
mm,
over your life and over your situations.
mhm. Are we? Do you want me to talk particularly in relationship with the kids, or just any
General,
relationship?
yes, general, yes. Anyone who may be going through that,
General.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I what I do, I try to sense myself in certain mm, situation or event or upcoming something, if it's aligned for me or not. Is that something that I want to be part of? Is it gonna fulfill me or not?
Mm,
How is it going to affect me?
yeah,
Right? And if I know I am invited to situation, even like even the party. If I'm invited to a party, a celebration of something, and I know the people, and I know who, what, and I try to discern myself. Do I want to be there or not? Is it worth it for me to? share my light there or not. And recently, I say no to a lot of those events because I know who the people will be. I know they want to take more than they give,
Hmm.
and I don't want to give. I want to take, of course. Everyone wants to take the good energy. Everyone wants to feel loved,
Yes.
not to be used. And I'm tired of being used, so I'm just saying no. Nope, I'm not going. It might be affecting, it's not affecting anyone. I don't even care who is affecting. My kids can find a way to get there if they want, but it's important for me that I want to be there and I might use my time to do something that makes me feel alive. A hobby or something, or being on a podcast or whatever. So it's asking yourself. Um, I shared a technique before on my YouTube. It's very simple. You close your eyes and you try to feel. You try to feel that situation or that situation. Let's say I want to be there or do I want to be there, or do I want to meet that person or do I want to. If you're doubting in between in between two things, and when you close your eyes, you ask the question, and you just feel. If you feel expansion and you feel openness, one of the answer, then that's a yes. If you feel constricted, right, and tightness, and it just doesn't feel good, any part of your body, some people feel it in the heart or solar plexus. If it doesn't feel good and tight, that your body is telling you no, don't go, don't do it, don't don't accept this offer, or don't accept this job, or whatever that works. Even for food, should I eat that or should I eat that? and and you might feel it or you may see a picture. People are different, right? They have different spiritual talents. Some people can see a picture, and whatever comes when you ask the question, when you ask, it's given. It's so simple.
Yeah. Wow.
But if you don't ask, you're not gonna receive. If you just go with what other people are telling you to do, you are not yourself. You need to ask yourself,
Hmm.
who are you? Who you wanna be? Who you wanna be in the world? What's important? What are your values? What's important to you?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
Exactly.
sweet, sweet. I love it. I love it. All right. So now I think Dex has a video line up there. Let's get that video going, and then we'll have some commentary on it after.
On a part of interpersonal. Good morning, beautiful. If you are on a path of interpersonal transformation, you're most welcome, because we are souls living in a human body, and this message is for you. The only question that you would like to ask yourself every morning when you open your eyes, simply, how do I feel? If you don't have the answer, ask yourself, how would I rather feel? How do I want to feel? The rest is a fake appearance of the ego perception of you.
Okay, we didn't really get much of the audio, but I saw the words coming across the screen. So, Desi, tell us about that video. Give us a little background on that video.
I mean, I sometimes I'm surprised by the things I create, because honestly, I'm just channeling the energy, that message that comes from God. I have no idea that I'm gonna wake up today, and as I walk in the park, in the forest, uh, I will come up with this message. and I feel the urge that I have to share that to people because someone needs to hear it.
Yes. Wow.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I really honestly believe lately that part of my purpose is I'm a messenger. There is no other way to say that because um, I'm not planning any of this and it's not on my to-do list.
Yes. Yes. All right. I get it. I get it. So next we have that promo video from Phoebe.
This surprising.
Hi, friends. Phoebe Trotman here. I wanted to just thank Andy, Charles, and the team for what they're doing with their broadcast. One of the things that stood out to me is that they truly care. They are there every single Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, sharing what they have gone through, their experiences. They have guests who have gone through real challenges, and those guests are sharing what they've done to push through those challenges. And but one of the things the reason I want to encourage you to tune in is because it helps you realize you're not alone. There is a community of people who care. There are people out there who've gone through challenges and they're sharing what they did to push through. And so it's a show of hope. It's a show of encouragement. It's also a show where you can learn. You can learn a tip or two to help you along your journey. So I encourage you again, tune in every single Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. They have a great lineup of guests. They themselves, they share their experiences, and I know it will help you through your journey. So I wanted to wish you continued success, good health, and many blessings in 2024 and beyond.
Thank you, Phoebe. Bex, do you have that promo slide for the DBS? All right. So in the meantime, Gabriella, Desi said something there that really struck me in terms of she is not in control of her purpose. When it happens, it happens. And she just have to be obedient and be the messenger
Yeah.
and put it out there. And whatever happens after that, it depends on how people actually receive the message. But her walk is led by her purpose, and that is controlled by God. That's something that's quite humbling. We appreciate that, that kind of humility. A lot of people feel puffed up and vain, and they think, oh, it's all about me. I have to give, I will do this, and I will do that. And indeed, what they are really supposed to do is be led by God, showing them the direction. And sometimes you don't know, it just comes into your life. Yeah? He just
Yes,
throws something into your space, and then you have to decide, okay, you know what? This is not just for me. Somebody needs to hear this information. Somebody needs to get this message. And you're willing to put
yes.
yourself out there. And we really appreciate that about you, Desi. We just have about 6 minutes to go, Gabriella. Any more digging into her information and her experience?
But like just as we're speaking about that and being able to just be obedient, how were you able to distinguish what is your inner voice from God's voice?
So yeah, as I was even listening to this is what comes to me is to to tell to the your audience is it's a decision, right? I decided that I want to serve. It's a decision I made. We all have a choice. We have our lives and we have a choice what to do with it.
Yeah.
Um, but my journey, and I hope you get the whole message because my battery is almost leaving my computer. Uh, After surgery, I was laying down on the floor, breathing, thinking how in the world and what's going to happen next, and how am I going to live in this situation, which I couldn't imagine being that way. And I talked to God, and I talked to my body, and I said, if you heal me, I will do everything for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And he,
Wow,
and
wow.
6 years later, I'm I'm honest, guys. I'm not making this up. 6 years later, I'm doing this with you, and that comes to mind. It takes time, but it was there. This conversation happened in my mind, in my internal mind, and when we speak to the universe or God, we are heard. We are always heard, and then we just need to listen for the guidance, what steps to take to move you to that dream or desire you want to have. And sometimes it's not exactly as you think it's gonna appear.
Mm.
It could be a little different. But here you go. 6 years later, I met the right healers, I met the right people, I met the right teachers. I didn't know all these people that came in my journey, I didn't know them. And, and I have a second chance now. So thank God.
Yes. God was preparing you. He was preparing you for a time such as this. Wow.
I
Powerful.
wow. Uh, I'm getting those
It is.
goose things, you know.
Yes.
It was
If this
really,
is not testimony,
Yes.
yeah,
It
if
was.
this is not testimony, I don't know.
yes,
Yes. It
yes,
was
yes.
preparing you.
Getting the chills. Wow,
Wow.
wow, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have that.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We have that slide up. I just want to quickly go through that. Um,
And you forgot today the trivia. We may not have time for it.
no, we don't have time for that trivia. This thing with Desi
More intriguing.
more intriguing, more rewarding. Okay, so folks, the Church of Christ at Laramie, my congregation, we are doing our annual Vacation Bible School, and it's on Monday the 20th to Friday the 24th of July, 2026 at the Laramie Government Primary School. So if your children are between the ages of 3 to 14 or 15, please make contact with us. You can contact us at 290-2395 or 355-5156, or you can email us at larmincoc@gmail.com. That's larmincoc@gmail.com to get further information for this VBS project for 2026. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dex. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Okay. Um, any closing comments that you want to make, Desi, at this time as we wrap up? We have just 1 minute to go. Anything you want to say before we close up? Well, I think the battery is really going at this time. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not hearing you. Ah,
We
yeah.
lost her. Yeah,
Uh,
thank
oh, she's
you.
back there again. Okay, so it's 7:30. If she comes back, we will have her. Um, yeah, she's struggling to come back. So let's just wrap up. And if she comes back, we'll probably be here just for another minute or so. But we got the gist of what we needed for the interview. Gabriella, closing statement.
Yes, I just want to encourage our audience and with this powerful testimony that Desi would have shared to never forget that your struggle may be part of your journey. It's not the end, and it doesn't define what God has in store for you. And with God, there is hope, there is purpose, and there is always a path forward in dealing with your struggles.
Yeah, and keep on doing everything that you can, folks, so that you can continue to break out of depression, anxiety, burnout, any limiting doubts or limiting self belief, PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, and all these things that we struggle with. Sometimes we don't even know. But remember, there's a God above who is able to deliver, who can help us to fulfill our purpose and help us to do continuously what we need to do to break out of depression. All right, until next time, God bless, Godspeed. Bye for now. Take care.
This is my breakout moment.
Better days are
Before me,
no more chains, I'm finally free.
stepping into victory. We're breaking out, we're breaking through.
This is our
Finest hour.
breaking out of depression.
Listen to and viewed worldwide.
On Living by the Word with Andy Charles and Gabriella Woods.
Every Tuesday at 6:30.
Breaking